Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to this segment of Code Gurbani's a-sabad-a-day. The reflection today is from Suhi Mahalla Panjwa, composition of Guru Arjan Dev Ji, and it starts by reflecting on the most immediate arena of human life, relationships. Neet Sajan Sut Bandhap Pai, Jat Kat Pekhon, Har Sang Sahai. Friend, companion, child, kin, brother, all of these, wherever I look, I see the Har present. Jat Kat Pekhon, Har Sang Sahai. The Har is present, sustaining and supporting me. So these are the relationships with which we ordinarily experience belonging, affection, support, obligation, identity. Yet the Guru is asking us to look again. Jat kat pekhon, wherever I look. The crucial movement here is perceptual. Ordinarily, I see my friend, my child, my brother, but Gurbani is inviting me to see more deeply and recognize the Har, the sustaining presence within and through these relationships. The friend, of course, remains a friend. The child remains a child. The brother, a brother. Nothing has been given up. What has changed is the lens through which these relationships are being experienced. So it follows that Har is not another relationship that is being added alongside the human ones, nor is it some sort of divine substitute, but it is the deeper presence encountered within this relational field itself. So the Guru is not drawing away from ordinary life. He is teaching us how to see ordinary life differently. Ordinary becomes extraordinary. And the Rahau, Jat meri pat meri tan har naam, Sukh sahajya bisaram Rahau. Now, the Rahau is widening and deepening the opening stanza. We began with intimate relationships through which we locate ourselves in the world. The Guru is now turning to social structures through which we establish who we are. Jat meri, pat meri, tan har naam. Jat, my social identity, my standing, my honor, my wealth, all of these are grounded in Har Naam. When they are grounded in Har Naam, there is peace, there is natural equipoise, a spontaneity, a harmony, the joy of harmony, and there the mind is at rest. Jat meri, pat meri, tan har naam, sukh sahaj anand bisaram. So all of these constructs should be viewed through the lens of Naam. Naam becomes the ground beneath which all of these identities and valuations that circumstance can confer upon us, and by the way, also take away from us, these have to be understood within the context of a deeper ground, which is Haranam, because that is what explains Sukh, Sahaji, Anand, Bisaram. These are the dimensions of what becomes possible when the self is no longer engaged in manufacturing and defending itself. You see, the ego self is constantly on some sort of renovation project. I have to be better. I have to do this. I have to take care of this. I have to reduce this, and so on and so forth. So Sukh, if you look at life through the dimension of Nam, and sukh arises, what does that mean? It means easing of agitation that leads to a state of sahaj, which is unforced equilibrium, spontaneity, harmony, and together that constitutes anand, bliss, groundedness, visram. That is what happens when Nam becomes the deeper ground of identity. That restless project begins to lose its grip. That does not mean that you're not acting, that you're not being responsible, that you're not being disciplined, or that you're not growing. What it means is that these things no longer have to carry the burden of creating the self. So Sahaj is not withdrawal, but it is the ability to participate in life without being completely possessed by every success, by every failure, by every praise, by every wound or every desire. The second stanza continues. So now the Guru turns to how this happens. Par Brahm Jap Peher Sanaha Kote Avad Tis Bedat Naha. Para Brahma Jap, recollection, contemplation of Para Brahma. And we have to understand what this recollection implies. Put on this armor, Jap Peher Sana, and then Kot Avad Tisa, Kot Avad Tis Bedat Nahi. Nothing can pierce it. No amount of weaponry can pierce it. That is the method. But what is this Par Brahm Jap? It means coming back again and again, wearing that armor of Guru wisdom to look at life's situations. Every situation is challenging you to respond. And the Guru is saying, wear the armor of Guru wisdom to look at every situation. That is Simran. The constant recollection, the constant bringing back of the Guru lens through which to see life. That is the method of Simran. It is not some peculiar practice, although we should not discount them because they constitute the basis for beginning to train the mind a little. So for us, Sikhs, Kirtan is the privileged method because it includes jap, it includes sangat, that relational field that happens where the Guru is present. So that happens. But what jap here means is that constant recollection, the constant bringing back of Guru lens. You have to wear that for every situation. But it goes beyond that. The Guru actually deepens the metaphor from armor to fortress. Har charan saran gad कोट हमारे काल कंटक जम तिस न बिदारे कोट गढ़ कोट हमारे charan kamal, that wisdom of Har is our fortress and stronghold. There the thorn of time and death cannot pierce through. That is the literal translation of the Pankti here. So you have to remember that the fortress is not fortifying the ego. It is the discovery that one belongs to something larger than the ego. So this is where surrender acquires a more subtle meaning. Because ordinarily the ego tends to imagine only two possibilities, either control or give up. Gurbani is suggesting another way. To participate fully without pretending to be the sovereign. I still act, I choose, I judge, I resist, and respond to circumstances, but I no longer imagine myself as an independent controller standing outside the unfolding and into forcing it into conformity with my own private script. I become an observer participant, fully within the movement of life, yet able to see myself responding within it. So saran in this sense is not passivity, but the release of the impossible burden of having to secure the whole enterprise myself. So Kala Kantak Jamtisana Bidare then carries that insight to the furthest point. When you can do this, then time, aging, death remain real, but their power to tear the person apart is completely altered because the self is no longer located in that temporary social and biological form, which, after all, must eventually pass. So the fortress is not the immortality of the ego, it is participation in a larger reality, the stronghold within which we live, the ego lives. And concluding, Nanak Das Sada Balihari, Nanak the servant remains forever given over, offering oneself up. You will see the slave master relationship constantly being reiterated in Gurbani. And I bring the example of computing, where master slave have to share the same language. Here it is the language of love. Pakya, Pau, Apar. They have to be alert to each other. So, so that it can get the signal, you see. So that is why Nanak Das Sada Balihari Sevak Sant Raja Ram Murari. Sevak Sant. You are serving the Sant, the Guru. So all of these metaphors, Raj, Sant, Raja, Ram, Murari, they're actually a spectrum along which your mind is moving. This is not private mystical absorption, but service. Nanak speaks of himself as a servant. So a slave is serving. You are participating. You're serving for the better good. And for that, you need to live a virtuous life. And to live a virtuous life, you have to engage with sabad, with vichar, with rag, so that the mind is retrained to see life the way it really is. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.